This is John for Global Woman Sports Radio. Today I have the pleasure of being on the beat with wrestling historian, author, and good friend, John Cosper. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
One of these days we're actually going to meet in person, but until then,
It's going to happen. Yep.
So
Yep.
one of the reasons, or the main reason why I was talking today, is about girl fight wrestling. I
hmm
know you. I know you're at the last event, but before we talk about that, can we talk a little bit about the event prior to that, when Mickey Knuckles lost her title to Billy Starks?
Yeah. I think it's some fans might have been surprised by it, but I mean, if you've been watching Billy for the last couple of years, I mean, she started. You had her first match. She was 14. I think she's 17 now. I may be mistaken on that. But I mean, it's I think most girl fight fans, it's a foregone conclusion. When that girl turns 18, somebody's going to call her up and say, "We got a contract for you." She's got so much charisma. She's got so much talent. She's constantly improving. Absolutely dedicated to her craft, and a good kid too. I mean, you couldn't, she's great with the fans. Pondo had to yell at her twice the other night during intermission. Get back to the back. We're ready to start the rest of the show. You'll be back out later to sign autographs. So, no, I mean, there's, she's definitely special. She's one of the most unique and I think talented young ladies to ever come through that promotion. So, and well, no spoilers yet because we'll get to it later in the conversation. But there are some other girls coming up as well. So there were some impressive debuts this weekend.
Well, it's funny about Billy. I met her for the first. I'm pretty sure it's the first time I've ever met her. Was at the recent Squared Circle Expo in Indy in May, and they had a lot of wrestling legends there. But she had one of the bigger crowds by her table to meet Billy Starks, which I
Yeah,
thought was,
that tells you all you got to
that's what.
know. I mean, she's huge with the kids. I mean, I pulled up to the building the other night at Skateland down in Charleston. This was Friday night for the Zero G tournament. Which with guys like Aaron Williams and Jake Christ and Gary J. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better lineup. And even the guys that people didn't know by name, like Malcolm Monroe the third, everybody knew their name by the end of the night. It was a great show. But I pull up and there's a girl right out front, and she's not only got the blue hair, she's got the little buns just like Billy wears. So I mean, yeah, she's ready made, ready to plug in somewhere, and it's going to be exciting to watch her next couple of years.
And she's doing it the right way too. She seems like
Mhm.
a really, really well-grounded young woman.
Yep. She's got a mom and dad that'll knock her down when she needs a picking out peg or two, and they're great
That's
people.
that's always a good thing. So
Mhm.
so so tell me about the last Girl Fight Wrestling show.
Well, say this was part of a big weekend. IWA East Coast hosted. It started Friday night with the G90 tournament. It concluded on Saturday night with the Masters of Pain tournament, which is my first all deathmatch show. I'll say not necessarily my thing, but boy, it's entertaining. Yeah.
I would agree completely with
One of
that.
one of my big takeaways from it was just the sound of a light tube breaking, so breaking over someone's head in particular. It's a very satisfying sound. It's kind of like the first time I was ever near, an auto race and heard the engines. Like, okay, I get this now. I get this. So, but I mean, it's just a fantastic evening of entertainment. But honestly, we want to talk about girl fight. So this is the Women's Sports Network. So no, they had 12 ladies, 6 matches. An outstanding show, top to bottom. This was, sometimes with girl fight, you'll get some debuts and you'll see some younger girls who are obviously, have just been in it for a little bit while. So you kind of see them in their roughest form, just coming out of training and working in front of a live crowd. But I mean, I don't think there was a weak match on the show that night. There was just a lot of great talent. I got the rundown here for you if you want it. We
Yes,
opened
sir.
up with Mickey Knuckles and Charlie Cruel.
Wow.
That
No, okay. Vicky Knuckles and Charlie Cruel is an opening match.
that's your opening match, yeah. So
Wow.
which they had another match that evening in another town. So, but yeah, Charlie Mickey cut her open with a battle axe that she brought to ringside. This is Mickey Knuckles, right? And so Charlie let some blood out. Mickey actually got the win, so she's back on the winning side after losing the title a week ago. I'm sure she'll be chasing after Billy at some point too. But I mean, Mickey and Charlie just an outstanding opener. And then your second.
And there's no shame in losing to Mickey
No,
Knuckles.
no, there's no, absolutely. If you're a guy, there's no shame in losing to Mickey.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, come
Good
on,
point, man.
you know. So, and then next up we had Nikki Victory and Big Mama. which two other ladies have been very popular. Nikki, it's more of a love to hate thing with the fans because Nikki knows how to run her mouth. She's got that great classic heel. I think the best heel that I've heard on the mic at a girl fight show was Maddie Max. I'm not sure what she's up to these days, but she was the one who came out, started running her mouth. Everybody was ready to rip her hair out, but Nikki's right up there.
Oh,
And use some foul tactics to defeat Big Mama, who's always a big favorite with the girl fight crowd. Next match before intermission, we had Shayla Hyde versus Harley Fairfax. Shayla was new to me. I've seen Harley before, and Harley's a powerhouse, and she's big, she's strong. She's got a great look. I was disappointed not to see David Stockwell of Darkness Worldwide by her side, as usually her manager's there with her. But Shayla actually got the surprise win, and she did it with a 619 that absolutely lit up the crowd. So she hit Harley hit the ropes, and everybody was like, "Is she gonna do it?" And Shayla. She pulled it off, and that crowd just went nuts for her, which was really exciting to see. So after that, we had Danny Moe versus Lainey Lennox. Danny was there that weekend with Facade. She came out to the ring with Facade the night before. Kind of a funny moment. Pondo yelling at Facade, "I'll get you a DVD later. Stop filming it." Man, Danny's got a great look. Danny's it certainly seems to me like somebody else that could get snatched up. I mean, you look at the history of girls at Girl Fight that have gone on to other things. I mean, AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker was out there. Obviously, Sarah Logan, Sue Young, and names are escaping me right now. I can see faces and everything, but I mean, just so much talent. I think it won't be long before somebody's looking at Danny and giving her a big shot. Skylar O'Brien defeated Gina Leanne Miller was the next match. Gina Leanne Miller was interesting. She's a Texas girl, came out with the cowboy, and struck me as, well, this seems more like the heel type personality in the babyface, but she was really over, had a lot of personality. She's somebody to watch. She was somebody that was enjoyable to watch. She's got and was really great with the fans over on the sidelines as well. So now here's the one. We get to the finale. Let me take you back to Friday night. So obviously I was up there. I had the book table set up. We had some of Pondo's books, Tracy Smothers, Chris Candido, a lot of the other ones that I've got for sale. And this young lady comes walking over to the table and says, "Hey, I need to buy a copy of Tracy Smothers' book." Because this is, who Tracy Smothers is, kind of a look, pretty young girl, looks maybe about 20 or so, long brown hair, not at all, not even wearing a wrestling t-shirt or whatever. It's just wearing a nice outfit. And we started talking. She told me, "Yeah, I'm a wrestler too." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I've been training with Bobby Blaze." So that gets my attention right there. She said she had been signed up for a workshop with Tracy, and unfortunately Tracy passed before the workshop took place. But and just, so of course, "Well, are you working on the show tomorrow?" She said, "Yeah, I am." So I ended up giving her a copy of the Elvira Snodgrass book as well. Well, I'm watching on Saturday. I got there, I saw her in her ring gear walking around. She was the only one that didn't have gimmicks, didn't have anything to sell at a table or anything like that. So okay, she's brand new. She's, again, Pondo gives a lot of breaks to a lot of newer girls and stuff. So I'm expecting her to come out, early card, somewhere in the first half. And I'm not seeing her. And all of a sudden she's in the main event with Billy Starks, which is, Pondo told me later, well, she's been working for IWA East Coast, so she's kind of the hometown girl. Let me tell you something. Her name's Judy Ray Hendricks. This girl can hang. She hung with Billy Starks, okay? Yeah, and it's kind of strange. I'm sitting here talking about a 17-year-old girl going, "Hey," with this 17-year-old girl who just happened to win a championship last week. That 17-year-old is a 3-year veteran, close to a 3-year veteran by this point. She can, every time I see her, she's got a new move, she's got a new angle, something new she's doing. She's completely over with this crowd. And there was no, Billy's gonna kill you. There was no split, this crowd, they were into both these girls, and Judy was taking everything Billy could give her and dishing it right back out. Billy hit a Canadian Destroyer, I think, when she was 15, and Judy hit one on Billy in this match. This girl's talented, and it's very clear, and as I was looking on her social media and stuff, she's also trained with Shane Douglas. She's trained with Jillian Hall. She's definitely serious about her craft. She's got a mom and dad just like Billy, who are definitely behind her and we're backing her. She had a lot of crowd support, with family and friends that were there. She's got a lot of potential. Again, her name's Judy Ray Hendricks. If you want to look her up on social media, it's a little odd spelling, JUDIRAEHENDRIX. look this girl up, follow her on Twitter, follow her on Instagram. You're going to be seeing her around in independent shows. I certainly hope we're going to see her some more girl fight shows. But this young lady's got, I actually traded messages with Bobby Blaze after the show on Saturday. I said, your student did you proud today. He said, I'm expecting big things from her.
Wow.
So, and again, another exciting debut, and some really interesting talent that came to the show, and I'm looking forward to see who sticks around with Girl Fight, and also who's going to be moving up.
Well, if that brings me to my next question. Of all the girls that are in Girl Fight, who do you think is most ready to move up to the for lack of a better term, big time?
I think if I were to say today, given every circumstance and everything like that, I mean, it's Danny Moe. She's just the total package. She's a beautiful woman, and she's got phenomenal talent. She's got a great character. She's really over with the fans. She just projects to me, she looks like, when the WWE was signing the girls out of the bikini magazines, but unlike a lot of those girls, she can wrestle and she can go. Very talented. I think she's ready to be someplace else. I think you're going to see some other girls challenging for that here in the next couple of years. I certainly think Billy is going to be there. Once she turns 18. I think Charlie and Nikki have got potential to go somewhere at some point. It'd be cool to see somebody bring Mickey back in. I know she worked Impact back in the day, and that's a locker room leader. That's somebody who makes everybody better. And she's kind of the mother figure, and the senior veteran and the locker room captain in the Girl Fight right now. Excuse me. And you can't argue with that. She's made Billy better. She's made Charlie better. She's made every other girl that she's worked in the ring with better, just by being there. So, as I said, that there's several others, and I think we'll see some surprises. We'll see some others emerge from the pack as they continue to evolve their characters and everything like that. I do think that Judy Ray's got some serious potential down the road. And I mentioned Nikki as well, and Gina Leanne Miller again is the girl from Texas. I mean, she's got a personality where looked like from some of her promo photos. She does some interviews and things like that. So even if she weren't to get a shot as a wrestler, certainly is an on-air personality. Yeah. I think she's almost ready as well.
Now in Girl Fight Wrestling, do they have long-term feuds? Like, will Billy Starks probably fight Judy again, or do you think do they do a lot of rotating?
There's a lot of rotating, kind of depending on where they're at. They'll bring in some different girls. If they were a little bit more this way, you might see some more girls. There's a couple from the Quad Cities that were at a show last fall, Valentina Loca, and one I'm real high on. I really like Heather Reckless. She's one of Seth Rollins' students. She's about 4'9". Fans, you might have seen her being thrown out of the ring in a battle royal into a crowd of guys. It was a gift that came out about 2 years ago. I first saw her out in Vegas and watched her take just the nastiest bump and it was a fluke move. It wasn't intended, where just because of her size, somebody tried to throw her out of the ring and threw her head first in the middle of the road, watch her snap her neck back, roll out of the ring, stand up, shake it off, and she was fine. I was like, are you kidding me? The girl certainly is fearless and pretty tough, but no, it really kind of depends on where they're at. There have been some ongoing feuds, and there's certainly been an attempt to do that, but just because of the nature of again, they're traveling, and he's going to pull from the local areas as well as bring the core group of Charlie and Billy and girls like that. It's kind of hard to build those feuds over time. Sure. But they certainly have had some rivalries. They've had some back and forth. There was I guess it's going back 2 years ago. There was a thing going between Savannah Stone and I think Randy West was involved in that feud and everything. With Girl Fight, you don't really see the ongoing month to month, because again, it's just kind of have ring will travel. If you got a ring and you want a girl show, Pondo's going to bring his core. He's going to recruit from the local area. He's going to work with the local promoter to bring in some of the girls. Which again is how Judy Ray ended up on the show this weekend. If when he sees somebody he likes, he sees some potential, he's certainly going to bring them along and continue to help provide them opportunities.
Well, I keep messaging Pondo, trying to get Girl Fight Wrestling up in the Chicago area, because Chicago totally lacks. Freelance has some women, but that's about it, man. We would eat that up big time, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and it's I mean, it's cool to see how it's grown. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I like Impact Wrestling so much. Impact has just got, I mean, just a stellar women's roster and the way they use them. I mean, on a pay-per-view, you're not going to get one women's match. You're going to get two or three.
Right.
You get a couple singles matches and a tag, or you get two tags and a singles or something like that. And you can't argue with who they've got on the roster and the opportunities that they've given them. So, I hope to see. I think AEW is starting to move more in that direction. I mean, certainly that Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match a couple months ago. That's a match of the year contender right there.
Absolutely.
I'll say this too, slightly off subject. I saw another match of the year contender the other night when Masters of Pain comes out. Shane Mercer and Akira. One of the most exciting matches I've ever seen. And I'm so excited because Mercer's on AEW tonight. He's on AEW Dark.
Yeah, I got to see Shane up close at Resistance when he was here for a while.
Yeah.
He's one of the nicest guys around.
Absolutely.
He's got just tons of talent.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a big guy. He's probably maybe a little bit taller than I am, but I mean, he's solid muscle. I don't know how much he lifts. But he's incredibly strong and incredibly athletic. The signature move he does, he goes up in the corner, he'll have somebody in front of him like this, do a backflip and then land, with him in a body slam. It's just, how do you do that? I actually saw him do that move years ago to John Wayne Murdoch out of the ring table. So I mean, like, how this kid hasn't been snatched up by Impact or Ring of Honor or somebody and given a real chance to grow and blossom in front of a national audience? I'm not sure, but yeah, you're right. He's a great guy. He's incredibly talented. Certainly has a lot to add to any roster where he might go.
Well, I saw him lift up the bleachers, the foldable bleachers, which is like, those things are hard to push, and then he lifted it, and just amazing strength on that guy.
He can lift.
He looks big, but
I've seen him lift Congo Kong. He's just got a lot of raw strength. He reminds me of Cesaro in that way, just pure raw strength. Yeah.
Yeah, good call on that. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's hit a little closer to your home. Tell us what's going on in the world of John Cosper and books.
Right now, I'm working with Karen McDaniel. We're working on a book of stories about Wahoo McDaniel. We're going to tell his life story, but it's going to be a lot of stories through the eyes of other people who got to work with him. I've got some stories from guys like Kevin Sullivan and Sam Houston, and actually, I'm supposed to be talking to one of Wahoo's sisters later this evening.
Wow.
We've got a lot of folks that we're trying to get in touch with and get their stories into the book. So that's kind of the primary focus right now. I'm also publishing a book for Chris Michaels. Chris Michaels has been around the indies for a long, long time. He's one of those guys who's been in the locker room with everybody, worked with everybody, has stories about everybody, and some really great stories. Chris really wanted to do a book, and unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to work side by side with him. So he actually wrote it himself. He had his son type it up, send it into me. I've done the editing. I was going to have somebody else go through and proofread it again because I'm a terrible proofreader. But I'm going to be publishing that for him later this summer as well. So Chris Michaels and Wahoo are the next things upcoming, and the big releases, of course, this past year, Princess Victoria, we got that one out, and Chris Candido, which continues to do extremely well. I sold out a Pondo books this weekend. I sold out of Tracy Smothers, and I was down to one copy of Chris Candido before I got back on the road as well. So certainly they've proven to be very, very popular books this year.
Yeah, no disrespect to the other books, but that Pondo book, I was at again at Squared Circle Expo, and people that know me or whatever would come up and talk to me about the Pondo book. How many stories of these did you worked with him at Art Pro? Did you see any of these stories? Did you have any stories about Pondo? And I said, well, maybe there's another book coming. We'll see. Not my stories.
He can certainly fill at least another one. Yeah. So he and I are actually working on a project. Not able to give much, but it's not going to be an autobiographical. He's got something a little bit different he wants to do. He's got some things he wants to share. But he was a guy. The same time that I was contacted and asked about working with Dr. D, I was talking to Pondo, saying, because I'd gotten to know him, through the independent scene here. And every time I saw him, he said, hey, let me tell you a story, and he had stories about, and they were all great. And I was like, dude, we got to get these into a book. He's like, nobody's going to buy a book about me. He's consistently, he's a great seller every month. People love the stories. And he's funny. He's been around. He's worked with everybody. He's weaseled his way into so many great situations. There's a video on YouTube of him and Marilyn Manson backstage where they put the Vicks vapor rub in their
Yep.
ear ducts.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that. And, there's a great story too that from one of the gathering of the Juggalos where he worked his way on stage dancing alongside MC Hammer. And all the stories about, if you're a horror fan, you're gonna love the stories about him working on 2001 Maniacs, working with Robert Englund, who was the star of the movie, but also a production assistant on the film who nobody knew his name at the time, by the name of Eli Roth. He's got a really
Oh,
funny story about Eli Roth in there as well. So
and Pondo's one of those guys where he's got such a legacy. He's so humble, but
oh yeah.
had so many great stories. And you were the great one to pull a lot of those stories out. That book was phenomenal. I enjoyed the other books too. No disrespect to them either. But I got to know Pondo a lot better than any of the other subjects. What is the basic timetable for the upcoming books?
I'd say Chris's book will probably be out by the end of summer. I'm hoping to have Wahoo's book out sometime this fall. Not an exact timetable. I got a couple of things on the back burner for the future, but nothing to announce at this time. But I will say I'll be at the anybody who's headed out to Waterloo, Iowa. I'll be at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame here in about 4 weeks. Very excited to be back out there. It's a fantastic event. It's a great museum. Waterloo, you think of Waterloo, Iowa. Why is it there? Well, that's where the NWA was founded. The hotel still stands, where the promoters met. And they founded what became the NWA that still going to this day. It's, like I said, it's a great museum. It's a wonderful event. It's one of those things, along with the Cauliflower Alley Club, where you're not just going and you're waiting in line to go to a table to talk to somebody. You're gonna be walking around the museum. There's Stan Hansen sitting on a couch. You can sit down and talk to him. Or you see Rock Riddle walking around. And I'll pitch this. If you ever see Rock Riddle, ask him about the Gong Show. Ask him about Chuck Barris. Rock's actually not too long ago. I got into, there was an old show called Fernwood Tonight, which was a fake talk show with Martin Mull and Fred Willard. And first episode, there was an episode titled "The Wrestler," so I turned it on, and who's playing the wrestler? It's Rock Riddle.
Oh, wow.
So I sent it to him on Facebook, and he reposted it. But so I'll be out there, and then in the fall, Pondo and I are going to be working together at Fright Night Film Festival. It's coming back to Louisville, Kentucky. That's the first weekend of October, and we'll have some tables set up. We'll be selling books. I'm hoping it's an opportunity for Pondo to get out there, and the guy has got a huge passion for horror films, and he's been in one horror film. Why did somebody build a franchise around him? Look at the guy. Put slap some makeup on him or something like that. Give him some sort of a creature gimmick. He could be the next Art the Clown or something like that. So
I couldn't agree more, my friend.
Yep.
John, I appreciate your time, man. Is there anything you want to plug before I let you go?
So my website's eatsleepwrestle.com. Come check it out. I've got signed copies of a lot of different books available. I'm running really low on Tracy Smothers, but I'll have some more coming in stock. Like I said, I get completely sold out this past weekend what I took with me. But that's the place to check out. I've got a write-up on the IWA East Coast Masters of Pain and everything like that up there. You can follow me on Twitter at John Cosper, on Instagram at John Cosper Author, and you can find John Cosper and Eat Sleep Wrestle pages both on Facebook as well.
And check this guy out. You've got like 20 some books or whatever on your site.
20 something on wrestling. I got my fiction site too, johncosper.com, that I'm getting ready to kind of revamp, and I've got actually I'm getting ready to re-release a short story collection called The Big Bad Good Nights, which it's a collection of noir themes, fairy tales. And just to give you an example, my favorite story in the book, take Cape Fear and combine it with Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Well, sorry you caught me on that one. So when will we see that?
I'm going to be re-releasing that sometime in July. I'm getting some old school type illustrations done for the book that are going to be inside the book. I've got a brand new cover coming out for it, and actually adding a brand new story as well to the book. So, but that'll be out sometime in July.
Well, I encourage everyone to check out both of your sites. Apparently, check out your books. I'm slowly gaining my John Cosper library in the office there. I'm slowly adding to everything. I haven't found a miss yet, man. They're all solid. And I've learned so much and been entertained so much by your books. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
I also thank you for your time and your contributions for helping out with Global Women's Sports Sports Radio. We love talking to you. Let's reconnect, man. After when you got news about your next book coming out, let's reconnect and let's give it some promotion, man.
Sure, anytime.
All right, John. Thank you for your time and have
All
a
right,
good evening.
you
Thanks,
too.
man.